right, it's finally run. We can go into our login, and we can see that the edit button has been added. It's right there with this saying profile, and then when we click on edit, it opens up our, this is our edit profile, which we haven't designed yet. So if you're following along, you'd be wondering, how does this work? Like, you clicked it and it only says that. So let's go back into a main app activity, and in order for the click to work, so right here I clicked on it and it took me to profile. That's because I added the load fragment into this. So we would take out all of our toast. So let's take out all our toast statements, and for each of these buttons we want to load the right fragment. So on home click, you want to load new home fragment, and then we do the same for everything. So on load search, we want to load new search fragment, and chat, load new chat fragment, and then for profile is the exact same, load profile fragment. Now we don't want to load the home fragment if the home fragment is already selected, and we also don't want to go back like out of the application. Like right now, if I click back, it goes back out of the application, right? We don't want to go back if we're at home. So one way to do this is we can create a boolean right here, private boolean, and then we can just call this at home, and whenever we load the home fragments right here, we want to say that at home is equal to true. That means that we're at home. And then whenever we load anything else inside this load fragment, we can say that at home would be equal to false. So what's happening is that first we're going to say that, oh, we're not home, but then after calling that, we're now going to call that we're sure at home. And now we can override our back press. So on back pressed, we can now check if we're at home. So let's go if at home, then we want to close the application. Oh, whoops, it's pretty slow because I have virtual machine on. Take your time. It's frozen again. All right, if we're at home, then we want to call this super.onBackPress. So we call that only if we're at home. Else we want to go home, so then we load the home fragment. So that's what's supposed to happen right there. And then in our profile fragments, if your profile, let's see, oh whoops, let's log in. If you don't see your own toolbar set up, I mean your menu appearing right here, you need to initialize it. So you have to get your toolbar just how we did before. So get the toolbar, private toolbar, and then set the toolbar to be your toolbar in here, fragment profile. So this is my toolbar, it has an ID of toolbar, and then we want to set the title to nothing. If not, it's going to give us the name of our application, and we call the get activity that set support action bar to be this toolbar. We can't just say get activity. We need to convert this. We need to cast it into app compat activity, get this, and then set support action bar and toolbar. Then that should work. Remember, in initializing for fragments, you need a view. So then let's refresh this. All right, it's done loading. We're going to log in. Log in. And then we see all the pages. If we click search, it opens hello blank fragment. We click chat, it's also a blank fragment. We click profile, it takes us here, and then we have this, which we can be like, hey, yay. And then if we're in profile and we click back, it would load back up this home fragment. Also, I noticed that the buttons are not being checked when you select them, so let's go fix that real quick. So we can come over to our main app activity right here, and then we can check which button is being clicked after they've been clicked. So we can say item dot set checked to be true. That's pretty much it. Just put this one line in, refresh that. Alright, it's done loading. We should be good to go. Now we click on search, it's being checked. We click on this, it's being checked. Click on this, is being checked. But there's also still one issue. If I go back, it goes back to the home, but it doesn't set that to be checked. So in load home fragment, we need to call our navigation view dot get menu dot get item, and we can get the item based on the index, and this is just like an array starting from 0, and we know that our home menu is the first one, so it is 0, and then dot set checked to be true, and now it should be fully functional. Everything should check just fine. Alright, that's downloading. Let's go back home. If we come to profile and we go back, it loads home just as it should. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create this edit profile page, and then when we're done, in the next video we're going to work on the chat, and in the following video after that we're going to work on search. So right now we're going to design the edit profile page. It looks very similar to this page, so we can just copy and paste a lot of it. So let's do that right now. Alright, I just had to close the virtual machine real quick so I can have RAM to do this. We can just paste our design right from the profile fragment right here. I just copied everything from there, and I came into this and then I just pasted it in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the context to activities dot edit profile activity, so we can get our context right there. This doesn't have to be a frame layout anymore. This can be a linear layout, and its orientation would be vertical. Oh no, there's no reason for that, so let's just take that out. So it's linear layout. We have relative layouts inside of each other. There's no reason for this one, so let's delete that. Come down to relative layout, delete that, delete, delete, delete. Alright, set this orientation to vertical, and it's put just right. So this one's toolbar should be different, so I'm just gonna make another toolbar for that. Layout, right click, new. I'm pretty sure that there's a better way to do this, just changing the style, the theme of the toolbar each time, like through the program, but right now I just wanna just make new toolbars because I can't like before, I just can't be bothered. Toolbar, and then I'm gonna say edit. Oh no, no capital, edit. Edit, there we go. Profile, toolbar. Select OK. Text would be Control L. Height would be to wrap content like that, and then its background would be our primary color, just like so. And then we can have a text view. Very similar to the red toolbar, so I'll just copy this one out. Right, to see red, that, paste that in. The color is white, and this is going to say edit profile, and I'm gonna just add a theme in here to be profile toolbar. Right, so yeah, that should do it. So now in here we're not calling red toolbar anymore, we're calling edit profile toolbar, which is just that. Does it say edit profile? It says the username right there, but for now this is okay. We can add the back button ourselves, or we can use a different style. I'll show the other style instead of just adding an image or an image button. So for now let's just leave that there. It still has the same bar, it has the circle. Change profile photo is what that's gonna say, and then we're gonna change user type, username, and the bio. Alright, so username would say change profile photo. We're gonna delete that. Then we're gonna delete all of this. Right. I just had to close the virtual machine, it was taking up too much RAM. Alright, after this, what's next is these two. So this is all horizontal, horizontal, horizontal. These two are exactly the same, so if I make it once, I should be able to make it again. So I can just come here, have a linear layout which would match, and height would wrap content. Its orientation would be horizontal, and then we can now pass in this one. It's exactly the same as the other one, so pass that in. It says just name, like so. Okay, and then we now have another text view which we would copy and then enter like so. So the text would not be bold and its color would be black, and then this would be about 16. So we have something like that. Name. Okay, how about making this a relative layout so I could just align it to the end. And gravity, no. So then I can just say parent end to be true. True. So it's going to be all the way at the end. You don't need gravity. They're automatically set up, which is perfect. And I just had to add a margin all around it. So slash there, margin of 20 dp. Let's push it in. It's perfect. And then a padding start 30 dp, which will be padding end of 30 dp as well. So we can have something like so. Okay, maybe we should just have it with would not, it would just wrap content. Now I don't have to say align parent end like this, so I can just do that. Have this to be ID of edit name, and then to end of edit name like so. Center vertical true like so. Margin start, just to give all of them a definite start. 40 is too little. 100 dp is perfect, like that. So it's not centered, but it is okay where it is at. So I have this, and then its container would be a linear layout. You know what, it's already, no, there's no reason for that. Just delete that. Control D this one more time, so we have 2, and then Control D that one more time, so we have 3. Right, edit name, edit user name, and what else? Edit user type like so. Edit user type, edit username. If I use a linear layout, it would be a lot better to do this, but I just feel relative is a lot more controllable. This margin is a little bit too much, so if I made it 10, it's still not ideal. So margin start 20, Control D to give it a margin end 20, and I just copy this for the rest of them. So margin be start and end, and you would have a margin, nope, you would have a margin of start and end. Perfect. I forgot to add a margin top of about 10. So copy this, collapse that, paste, whoops, paste that, collapse that, and paste that too. So then we have spaced out, kind of okay, kind of. Right, let's just change this to say, nope, user type, and then select this one to say username, and select that to say name, so that's fine. And then we just need one more for the bio, so we close this, and Control D to duplicate that, just one more, edit bio, this would say bio, edit bio, and that's pushed just right there, which is perfect. It's not even. This is even. I feel table layout will be better to make this even, but for the time being I'll just keep this. So Control Shift and end. Oops. Shift end. Copy that. Scroll back here. Delete this. And paste that. We have that bio. A little bit long. Perfect. 100, 100, 100, and 100. Okay, so what we can do is take the biggest one. So this user type is the biggest, and text is width, which if I say it's 100 dp, 80 dp. Oh no, not 60, 80. Not enough. 90. Oops, can't type. 90 dp. Perfect. And I'll set this width for all of them, so they are all the same size. So I'll close this, select this, width 90. This is by, oh, whoops. Width would be 90, push it that much. And 90, push it that much. There's the final one, just the name. Width will be 90 to push it that much. And now we have to change all the margin, the start margin. So where those margins start from 100 to 40, not 400. Not 400, 40. Perfect. So copy that, come here, margin start 40, select this, margin start 40, select this, and then margin start to be 40. Alright, so that took way more time than it should have. But we're getting there. Alright, we don't need the button, so we can just get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. And we have this. We just need to push this down a little bit, so we'll come here. We had a margin bottom of about 20 dp. Let's push down a lot, change profile, that's good. So now we just need to add a done button. So we come over to menu, right click, new, menu resource, and we say edit, profile, done, menu. It only has one item, just like the other one, so we would just go item, and then title would say done, and then ID would say done, and that's about it. So we come over here to our edit profile. This is finished, so we can go to our edit profile activity, get our private toolbar, make sure it's the app compat toolbar, and then we can initialize private void initialize. So toolbar is equal to find by id r.id.toolbar as usual, and then we're going to say set support action bar to be toolbar. Whoops. Toolbar. Don't forget to set the toolbar title to nothing, right? And then get support action bar dot set display as home enabled to true would give us the back button, and now we can inflate our menu. So on options, on create options menu, and then we're going to say menu inflator is equal to get menu inflator, and then we're going to say inflator dot inflate r dot menu dot done into our menu. like that. So we can just, I wonder if I can return this. I can't, right? So Control V and then return to uncreate option menu. Nope, return true, like so, to create the options menu. And then we call init like that. And let's try and run it and see what happens. Alright, the virtual machine's up. This is what we have so far. So our button, this back button's here because we have set display as home, set display home as enabled to be true, and then we also inflated our menu right here to be done right here. So if your menu has a triple dots, like the dot dot, you have to set this to be always. If it isn't always, you're gonna have dots like this, and you can drop down. If that's what you want, then sure, but I have this set as always, so we get this done right here. Now, if we click on this, nothing happens, right? We're clicking the back, but nothing happens at all. If we click done, when we click done, we go to our edit profile page. I mean, our regular profile page, which is right here. So what we have to do is go to the edit profile activity, and then override a function on options item selected. So to override, you click Control O, and then you can write on options item selected, and now we're gonna check what options we're selecting. So I'm gonna use a switch case. So it's item dot get item ID, and then we're going to say if, oh no, case, not if, android.r.id.home right here. This is the ID for the back button, so we can just override our back press. So super.on back press, I mean not override, we can just call it here. So whenever we click that, it's the same as if we're clicking the back button, and then we break, and then we can have another case r.id.done, and here we also want to do the exact same thing. So super.on back pressed. Right, I'm only putting this to do the same thing separately because this done would do a separate function in an actual app. Like what you could do, for example, when you click the edit, is when you click done, it's going to like load into a database and store everything there, and then afterwards go back. So I'm only separating it like this, so it's already prepared for like a full functional application. So let's run this again and see what we get. Alright, now it's opened up. We can click on this profile. We can see this right here. We click on edit. It takes us over here where we can edit our information. And now if I click on done, it will go back to this page. If I click edit again and I click this back button, it goes back to this page as it should. So in the next part, we're going to create the chat page, which would look something like this. Let's go back, select the chat, something like this. So this is going to be a recycler view. And then if you select it, you would see the profile page of the person you're chatting with. So yeah, see you next video.